Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today I am back with yet another Sriracha taste test. If you missed my previous one where I compare the new Sriracha versus the old Sriracha, be sure to check out that video down below. I am back to compare Sriracha. If you don't know this sauce, Sriracha is actually not a trademark name. It's just a general name for a hot sauce. But when I think of Sriracha, I think of this one. And this is the one with the green nozzle. It comes from Huy Fong Foods. I grew up eating this. We always had a bottle of this around, had it on fried rice, noodles, eggs. And to this day, my mom reuses the empty Sriracha bottles as an oil dispenser, which I think is absolutely genius. If you go to my mom's house, you'll see that she dispenses her oil when she cooks using one of these. I love this sauce, and because I grew up eating it, there are certain dishes that I like to have with it. Namely potatoes. I love to have home fries with this mixed with a little bit of ketchup, stir-fried noodles. Love this. Sticky rice. I talked about this in the last video I did about Sriracha. And since having this as a kid, this has blown up into a bit of a cult following. There are t-shirts and everything with the rooster or the cock sauce, some people call it. And that is Sriracha. It's produced in Irwindale, California. And I never thought too much about it because it was just ubiquitous, the green top. We just had it all the time. It never was a big deal to me. And then it really blew up, and then there was all these other competitors trying to do the plastic squeezy bottle with different colored tops. And of the ones I tried, none of them tasted as good as this one. So Q 2023, when there was a Sriracha shortage, you could not find this anywhere. And I knew it was a real thing when I went to my local pho shop and nobody had the green capped Sriracha. They had substitutes and none of them I felt tasted right. It was not the right combination of flavors as the one that I was used to until it came back late last year, and then it was rumored that it did not taste like the old formulation. And because I had an old bottle, I went and bought a new bottle and did a little comparison. So this is that new bottle that I purchased, and as you can see in that time we have eaten quite a bit of it. And today I'm going to be comparing it with this Sriracha. And this Sriracha is called Sriracha Premium Chili Sauce, and it is made by Underwood Ranches, which were for 28 years the almost exclusive supplier of red jalapeno peppers to Huy Fong Foods. Fascinating, right? So there's a lot of tea here. I'm going to give you a little synopsis of what happened. So Huy Fong Foods sued Underwood Ranches for $1 million. And then Underwood Ranches countersued Huy Fong Foods for fraud and breach of contract. And Underwood Ranches won the judgment for $23 million. So from 1998 to 2016, over a period of 28 years, Underwood Ranches supplied the bulk of the red jalapeno peppers needed to make this sauce. 10 of those years, there was a written contract. And after that, the agreement was an oral one. But then in 2016, Huy Fong Foods stopped buying peppers from Underwood Ranches, and they lost tons and tons of money. Apparently they were supplying about 50 truckloads at their peak of red peppers every day to keep up with the demand of making this sauce. So you can imagine if 80% of their sales came from Huy Fong Foods, the company lost tons of money, and that's why they countersued. So lots of tea to spill here, but what I am most interested in is how this sauce tastes and how it compares to the original. Now, I first learned about this because I read an article that Costco started carrying this in a double pack, and they were selling it for $9.95, which is a pretty good deal these days. So about $5 each. I think usually it retails for about $9.99, $8.99. So pretty pricey stuff compared to the Huy Fong Foods. I remember buying it for so much cheaper, but these days it probably goes to about the same price. I remember buying it for $3.99, but I think these days it's a lot more. Anyways, let's see what it tastes like, shall we? Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. So here is the original. It has had this packaging since I can remember. Plastic bottle with this kind of white printing on it, and eventually this kind of white printing comes off as I remember it. So same label that I've always remembered, translated into multiple languages, and nutrition facts on the side, but that is the original by Huy Fong Foods. Now, if we look at Underwood Ranch's version, their label, instead of having a rooster on it, they have a dragon, and it is a stick-on label rather than being printed on the bottle itself. but very similar packaging in terms of diameter, size, squeeze bottle nozzle. Of course, this is black rather than the iconic green, but very similar packaging, I would say. So I bought this online, and the first thing I noticed when I opened the package was the color. This one is so vivid and red, while the Huy Fong Foods is a little bit more orange. See the difference in color? So let's compare ingredients. So Huy Fong Foods contains chili. It does not say specifically red jalapeno. Chili, sugar, salt, garlic, acetic acid, potassium sorbate, and sodium bisulfite as a preservative, xanthan gum. Next, let's compare that with Underwood Ranches. They contain red jalapeno pepper. They say very specifically what kind of pepper, sugar, and water. They include water. This one doesn't say water. Salt. Oh, this one doesn't say salt. Oh, yes, it does. Salt, the same. Acetic acid, same. Garlic, same. Natural flavor, that's different. Xanthan gum, same. Sodium metabisulfate and or sodium bisulfite, which is a preservative, and potassium sorbate. So the list is nearly identical, except Underwood Ranches say they use some water, which is not listed here, which I find unusual. Usually when you make a hot sauce, you need to add some water to it to make it flow, unless you're making a chili paste. So, interesting, right? Let's do a taste test. I have not tasted this sauce yet. Let's open it up. So, caps here, seal on the top. Now, I remember back in the old days when I would open the bottle, it would always kind of burp and fart, and always would squeeze out some sauce. Does this one do that? No. Ooh, it smells great. Wow. Nice chili fragrance. Definitely smell garlic. It smells terrific. Okay, let's compare that with OG. Ooh. Kind of similar. This one smells funkier, but pretty similar, like garlic chili combo. Although this smells really chilied. Really great chili pepper smell. I'm excited about this. Okay, so first I'm going to taste it straight up, and then I'm gonna have it on some noodles. Let's squirt them and compare their consistency. Let's shake them up. So OG, yep, exactly how I remember. And this one, wow, that is so red. So this looks maybe a little thinner. See how it's pooling a little bit more? That would be consistent to water. And this one's a little bit thicker. See how it's sitting up a little bit taller? So maybe more thickeners or just less water. But look at that color. That color is very striking. It's almost fluorescent in color. Well, this one looks a little bit more faded. Alrighty, since this is the benchmark, let's taste that first. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Tangy, garlicky, delicious. Tastes a little metallic, but I think it's because of the spoon. Delicious. Now, let's compare that to the competitor. It smells very similar. Ooh, it's spicier. And it's different. It's spicier. I like that. The amount of heat level is spicier and more reminiscent to what I remember Sriracha being like. And that's what I enjoyed as a kid. It had a little heat to it, a good amount of heat. It wasn't just playing lip service to this idea of being hot sauce. Like there was some heat, and this one has more heat. It's definitely spicier. Sweet, salty, maybe a little less garlicky. It is different than the OG. OG is garlickier, a little bit thicker, and not as hot. Having said that, I like it. It's also a little bit more acidic. A little bit more tartness, less garlicky, and nice amount of heat. It's delicious, but it is different than Sriracha. But having said that, of the Sriracha dupes or competitors I've tried, this one is the best. This one is the closest, yet it is still different. But what I really like is the amount of heat. This has a very pleasant kick to it, much more so than this. I would say maybe a little bit spicier than Tabasco. Completely different flavor than Tabasco. Tabasco has a deep kind of smokiness. Well, this is more garlicky, tangy, and sweet, but not tangy like a Louisiana style hot sauce, not like watery, vinegary kind of hot sauce. This has some substance to it, but I like it. Alrighty, now let's try them on a dish. I'm gonna heat up some pad see ew that I picked up and we'll give it a contextual taste. Alrighty, so I've got some pad see ew, delicious rice noodles stir fried with some vegetables, and let's try it with both of the sauces. Wow, look again how vivid that red is. Underwood Farms versus Sriracha. It's just so vivid. Alrighty, here's the original. Itadakimasu. Such a great compliment to these noodles. Pad see ew is made with rice noodles, which are nice and wide and have a nice chew to them. It has a little bit of scrambled egg in there, some soy, some beef, broccoli. Delicious combination. A little bit sweet, goes well with the noodles. It's so interesting now that I have the old Sriracha with the Underwood Ranch's Sriracha, I realize how less spicy it is than I remember. I remember putting a significant amount like this and it would give you a pleasant kind of burn, but now it doesn't. But still delicious. The flavor is exactly what I remember. Now let's try Underwood Ranch's version on the pad see ew. Pretty good, but the heat is what I really like. It's different though. It's more tart and less garlicky. While this is more acidic, I feel like it's a very well balanced sauce. It goes really great with the noodles. Love the level of heat, and it is less garlicky, which might appeal to some people that are looking for a sauce that has a little less assertive flavor. I've met friends before who said they don't like Sriracha so much because it tends to be too flavorful or too garlicky, and I 100% understand and in some cases agree. It can be overpowering. And in that sense, this might be the sauce for a person with those taste preferences because it's less garlicky, but it still has plenty of heat. Oh, I'm so hungry. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. The Underwood Ranch's Sriracha is delicious. I feel like it is a great competitor to the Huy Fong Foods. It is different. It is not as garlicky. It is more acidic, but it is tasty, well balanced, and most importantly, in my opinion, it has a good amount of heat. While this is not as hot as I remember, and that was only because I had this to taste. I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't very hot at all. But if you don't like that spicy kick, maybe then this is where to go. So in my short little lifespan, this still is the original Sriracha, but I would buy this as well. I really like the well-balanced nature of it and the level of heat. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Lunch, please. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. My Roladex of memories and experience still says this is the one because I've had so much of this in my life. You know what I mean?